Start recording. That is going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome everybody to another episode of Rocks Fall Everyone Dice. I'm here with the crew of the Nostromo. This is the actual, last time I was mistaken, now that we're back on the correct one, this is episode 178. Johnny, what happened last time on also episode 178?
178, part 1. The our backup crew of characters went ahead to the Belayed Deserts in order to try to procure the Staff Alifa, also known as the Shepherd's Crook. We went to the capital city of Kusan, where Thieves Guild tried to tail us, and we tailed them right back. And made had some conversations with some Ifrit and Genasi, who were previously from the land of Burn, from way before it actually became blighted. And since the Staff Alifa is a Gullisy artifact, they are potentially willing to help us steal it from Maladek in exchange for us helping them get their totems back, so that they are free from being bound to him. Or, well, not bound to him, like where they have to serve him necessarily, but it's like he's got them by the walls, essentially. Where if they try to move against him, he could just be like, hey, I got your shit. What are you going to do now? Kind of. And yes, we are at the tavern of the Earthjusty Kaelin, who has invited her old colleagues, Hunter and Threstra, I think is his name. And we have to give them a pitch on a plan so that they'll help us do whatever it is we're going to end up doing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, last episode you guys met a lot of Jin. You unwrapped, obviously, a lot of the backstory of why the Jin are here. The fall of Burn during the blighting. And what has generally been going on with them, and that they themselves don't like being here. They came here because they had to, but now that they have more options, they would like to leave, but they cannot. So, you currently are in the tavern, the Restful Respite, I believe. What's the name of this one?
The Ogling Acrobat.
The Ogling Acrobat. The Ogling Acrobat. It's, my mouse is frozen. When it becomes unfrozen, I will be able to look. The Ogling Acrobat. Currently, you guys are in private conversation with Kathleen Washathi, who is an Earth Dio Jin, and she is the tavern master here. You guys were able to, as he said, gather up a couple more Jin who are going to meet you later here in a couple hours. Kathleen, last game, professed that these people are capable to help, but she doesn't have a plan. So she is willing to provide information as much as she can. But she's not really great at the planning. They fucked it up last time. But she does have people that are capable, and she is the leader of the Thieves Guild here, the Merry Men. Who are also, 2 of them are in the room. A Dinor and a Ferric are currently here, but these are humanoid people. So...
I think Dinor is the one that we humiliated last time.
Yes. So she will start off with... All right. Well, obviously you're new here in Kusan, so lay of the land, help you come up with a plan. Obviously, you understand that there is the Temple of the Restful Lily. The Temple of the Restful Lily is the place where the birthing ceremony is going to be taking place in 5 days. And it's also the place where the Shepherd's Crook is going to be as well. But that is also where all of our totems are held. Now, the totems are held in Temple of the Restful Lily, but they're actually under neath it, in a secondary temple, the Temple of the Astral Light. That is where they are. And they're actually in a safe in the Temple of Astrolight. I know a man that's broken into it. He was able to steal from it. He knows how to get through the safe. He's one of the few people that do. From what I understand, it's undetectable, and magic won't work. So you can't just blast your way through it, or magic your way past it. You actually have to solve a very difficult puzzle. He knows the answer, and he knows how to get past it. We might be able to use him, but obviously, I'm going to get to it a little bit later. He's detained. Now, obviously, the Procession of Life is going to be happening over the next few days. The Procession of Life is going to start in Runin and end in Kusan. During that time, there will be going to be games for the next 3 days leading up to the Procession of Life, up until the afternoon before the birthing. Whoever impresses Lord Caradoc, whoever impresses Lord M.
Lord Carrot.
Sorry.
Lord Caradoc.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll call him.
You're welcome.
Lord M the most is going to be able to witness the birthing as well as receive favor from the Lord. Now, the arena itself is an area. It has some policing over it. There's some odd rules on it. But in general, if you're able to find someone who's willing to fight you that'll impress him, they'll do it. A lot of creatures will do it because when they're summoned there, they are given gifts of money and power by Lord Caradoc as a part of the game.
Lord M.
Lord M.
She wouldn't say yeah. She wouldn't say Lord.
Well, you
I keep on saying, fuck it. She's saying that. I'm gonna say your name. I mean his
You're
name.
the cover. I'm
No,
lost.
you're the cover name. Anyway, the Lord Caradoc.
Yes.
Anyway, Lord M, aka Lord Caradoc, he will give gifts. You have to make sure that the person you think is going to want to fight you or would fight, right? You can't summon the king of a country, right, and he doesn't actually want to fucking come. It'll be a big disappointment. Generally, you kind of want to hash that out beforehand, or at least summon somebody you know that's going to throw down. Or entice them to. But outside of that, most creatures will come, right? Outside of, like, the gods. What else? Okay, so we're talking about the arena. That's the good thing with the arena in the next 3 days during it. There are other bands competing in the arena for such a privilege, and they're always one stepping up each other, right? So, if you happen to defeat something, they might try to defeat something bigger. And if they succeed now, they're the ones that are probably going to make it. So, don't think you just defeat one big thing and you're going to win. They might see up too. There are a couple bands, I don't know much about them, but we can learn about them if you want to do, if that's part of your plan. If it's your plan. Don't know if it's your plan. But let you know, those are some of the complications, as well as the Arena Master might be a complication. I'll cover him later. There's 4 elements priests. Obviously, they're going to be a problem. I'll fill you on them in a bit. There is, of course, a little place called Kusan Fortress. Obviously, we have a military police here, but also there's the fortress. And the fortress will be a burden on our side, because if we raise any alert, the fortress is going to send men. Lots of men. So, maybe having to find a way to deal with that, distract that, do something about that. Bribe, cheat, steal, assassinate. I'm not really sure what your fancy is. But you gotta know that Kusan Fortress, if it stays unmolested, is gonna become a problem. At least one that you gotta be ready to deal with martially. And of course there is Lord M, Mr. Caradoc. There is the Diviner. You're not the only powerful people in this city. Obviously he has a lot of powerful people with him. One of those is his Royal Diviner. His Royal Diviner in the Spectral Tower can see a day in the future or a day in the past. So if you start leaving breadcrumbs, they're going to find it out really quick if they can divine on you. And that diviner is always looking into his future. So, might be a problem. I'll cover that man in a bit as well.
Take him out yesterday.
Now, there is, of course, one other place, the Kusan Conservatory. This is important. Like, why am I talking about a museum? That's gonna be the sticking point. I'm gonna bring that one up. Because if we want friends, Lord Maladoc, it's...
Maladoc, it was a combination.
Maladoc, yeah, it's a different amalgamation. Anyway, the Lord M, Mr. Caradoc, Deer's third cousin from his second mother. He doesn't really have a prison. He has a conservatory. See, he traps his enemies in paintings and then displays them to the general public.
It's kind of twisted. I guess I don't expect anything else.
Yeah. It's a fate worse than death. Either you're worthy of being killed here, or you go in the conservatory, or you go into slave service. There's not really much in between with it. That's why there's not a lot of crime here, and, well, I only have 4 merry men. Anyway,
Quite the guild.
let's talk about the villains gallery, the problems. Obviously, there's the archpriest, Zaphael the penitent. He is a greater angel. He also can detect any lies or deceit. He can smell it like a bloodhound. You gotta be careful. If you're in a room with him, or if he's in an area that you're in, he can smell you lying. And he'll sniff you out. Careful about that. He can smell it.
You're trying to tell me this is a mostly honest city.
No, lots of people lie. Their minds are different, though. And his mind is one thing. He protects Lord M. Obviously, we're not being that honest. And obviously, considering who we're going after, we're probably going to smell the worst. Gotta be careful. You might want to know where he is and when he is. Because if you're in a room, or one of us is in a room near him, or an area near him, we're going to have some problems. There's Archmaster Guillermo Santiago de la Rivas. He's the diviner. Maledict's diviner can look a day in the past or the future. So if you go and steal something, he can look a day in the past and see who did it. Gotta be careful. He's got a crystal ball. Crystal ball lets him do this. As long as he's got that ball, he's a problem. If he doesn't have that ball, he doesn't have that power. Something to keep in mind, but obviously that's in the spectral tower. There's Vile Saza. It's the lady in waiting for the mother. He doesn't really trust his mothers of his children that much, and that they'll take care of the children not spared away with him. So what he does is he ties them to someone he can control, and he'll kill that person or have them kill themselves, thus killing the mother. They're tied together, tethered.
Heard Gazetteer himself killed the last mother.
I heard a similar thing.
Maybe we can have him as an ally.
There's the curator of the Kusan Conservatory, Dread Morgan. She can detect any fraud or fake items instantly. So this fake shepherd's crook you're trying to make, if she sees it, she's going to know it's a fake. Keep in mind, he has her look at things, or if she's just in the area where it is, she might be able to detect a fraud or fraudulent item. Might be a problem. Might be a problem for us with that shepherd's crook. There's Auntie Greenbones. She'll notice if anyone is missing from the birthing ceremony. She's the midwife. She keeps close attention And she's got a freaky good memory. She can also see through illusions. She's a hog. And she'll notice if you change your form too. That's why beast shapes don't work on him very well. She had a friend of mine, disguised himself as a fly. She ate him. Trapped him in this form and ate him.
So one of us should turn into a bird. Another
There's
one
of
a
course
cat.
Lord M himself. It's not a light thing when I say he walks nearly on the divine. If you go up against him, you're gonna lose in a fight. He's got really good eyes, and he's cunning. We don't want to be where he is when he's there. And he appears in places randomly in his city. Got to be careful about that. There's a chance we might run into him. We also might want to know his schedule, because if we know where he's going to be, we know he's not going to be popping up somewhere else randomly. Those are the safe times that we're not going to have to worry about. There's of course the Beast of Starry Eyes, something to keep in mind. While that thing is out and about, it specifically looks for creatures that are out after Mr. M. And there's a chance it might trap you in a coma. I've lost a lot of men this way. A lot of good people I know have just not woken up from sleep. Gotta be careful about that. If we sell these people on this plan, they're signing up that the Beast of Starry Eyes might be against them. There are ways to protect yourselves. I'm going to get to that.
Do you know what it is?
It's a creature made of the nightmares that lay in the astral sea. Some say it looks like a bull. Chases you in your dreams. Made of stars and hate. It's old. It says when the first man dreamed, the beast was born from it, from his first nightmare. That's all I know it to be. There's also the theory that it does live in the, give me a second, my mouse, the Temple of Astral Light. So that might be something we have to consider as well. It's both astral and physical. Anyway, that's what I know about it. You're going to have to figure out more about it or ways to deal with it. I do know a person that does know specifically how to prevent this. A dreamwalker. But obviously they're kind of held up right now. We're going to get to that.
Only on a basis, right?
There's
Back in the grove, waiting to teleport us back.
There's of course Master Steel Crane. He's the Monk of the Winds. We've got to be careful, because if you're in an area where he's in, the winds don't work with you, and if he's onto your game, he can scent you and find you, and it's hard to move. You're going to run into that. Last time when we had a tussle, when he was about, he became a problem. I couldn't move that much. Movement was difficult while he was around. The air didn't work. He fought me like it was solid randomly. Of course, there's the Master Jade Tigress. She inspires fervent loyalty in those that might fight us. If we go to the Restful Lily, keep that in mind. She might be a problem. Master Buck May. He's a master of anti-magic. Spells will fail around him because of such. You have to be careful. If he's in an area, in the Restful Lily, don't depend on your magic too much if he's around. You might have to find a way to deal with him. There's, of course, Hadwasha. She's the tyrant of Kusam Fortress, and she has eyes. The littlest fucking thing that happens in the city, she starts raising the alarm. You have to be careful about her. You might have to find a way to deal with her, because while she's on alarm, while she's on duty, there's more of a chance that we're going to start being found out. And the more alarm we raise, the more likely we're going to be running into troubles. There's Eloise Maladak. She's the sheriff of Kusan. While active, she's the one that looks for alarm. The other one just sends people. Doesn't care how many people she sends, will send people. So those two together are a nightmare to deal with. We raised too much alarm last time, and we had a lot of guards sent our way. More so than we could ever deal with. There's Seath. He's a Cambion devil. He's the arena master. Hates cheating. So you might have to find a way to deal with him. Because if you want to cheat in the arena, you're going to have to get his permission. Or make sure that there's a different arena master. There are 3 bands I know performing in the arena. There's the Four Spears, the Band of the Virtuous Banner, and Seath Sorceress Sirens. You're going to be competing against them. I don't know much about them, but I do know you are competing against them in the arena. Not directly, but indirectly.
Could we challenge them, or is that prevented?
It's prevented.
So they'd be a very tough monster. You'd be like, well, clearly they're tough. We'll challenge them to a fight.
Nah, it wouldn't make for good sport. People fighting beasts, but it isn't unheard of that some people during arena fights just die in the street, poisoned, run out of town, bribed. Something to keep in mind. Anyway, the people that might be able to help us. Obviously, you know about Lannis Lefkiker. She's the... she doesn't know about us. You pulled her in first. But on you. She's being watched right now. So while the guards are active... So basically why the 2 other of his... the sheriff and the tyrant are about... She's going to be hard to work with, being watched. You got to take care of them to be able to free her up, if you want her to be able to help more. There's Theresa. He's good at fighting people. He's really deep connections with the artisans district. So if you need something made or found, he's a good person to talk to and help us. He's a good fighter too. You can't do both at the same time. There's of course myself. I'm good at looking in intelligence and locations, learning lore, like I'm spilling now. There's Hunter. He's good at creating potions that can help with certain tasks, right? So you need a potion to do something specific or weird. He might be able to help you. There's Dinner, my friend over here. Dinner's good at breaking into places, and he's been known to help people go missing. If you need somebody to go missing, he's pretty good at making them go missing. There's Finnick. He's good at following people, good at stakeouts, good at watching things, good set of eyes on that boy. There's Minuan. You saw her before. She was the shadowy figure, the ex-Thayan slave. She's good at arcane fortress and really good at making forgeries. Need paperwork, IDs, something like that. She can do that. Anyway, there's Silvo. He's good at digging up dirt on people. Good at making poisons.
Poison dirt?
Now, these are 4 people who currently aren't here to help us right now, but they could be. There's Silveri Silversong. She's the Dreamwalker. Her very presence suppresses the beast of Starry Eyes' power. If you find a way to free her out of a painting, the beast of Starry Eyes is out of the picture. Not even going to be a problem. Won't run into him in the lair. Her very presence in the city suppresses it here. There's Gorba. Gorba knows where the diviner keeps his crystal ball of foresight in the spectral tower. You won't have to go looking for it. Digging into rooms. Potentially raising magical alarms. The diviner is an archmaster of divination. And a master of abjuration magic. expect the most powerful and potent magical alarms. If you're able to get Grob out, you might be able to avoid the issue of trying to find it. Get a better chance of getting that crystal ball. There's Glitter. He has dirt on one of the high priests of the Restful Lily. Dirt so bad we might be able to get them to help us. And there's Phlox. He knows a secret entrance into the Temple of Astral Light, and he knows how to approach the puzzle. You find him, you won't have to go finding the Temple of Astral Light. Without him, you're going to have to find where it is. I don't know if we're going to... They're all trapped in paintings in the Kusan Conservatory. We also might not be able to get all of their paintings. And also, if we steal paintings from the Kusan Conservatory, it's going to raise the alarm. Unless we create forgeries, which is possible. But the curator can detect the forgeries. So you might have to deal with her. But if she dies, that's going to raise the alarm a lot. So how do you deal with her? Might be something to think about. Anyway, lots of places, lots of things to do. Obviously, it's up to you to make the plan.
Do you know what it takes to get people out of those paintings?
I do. Tharistan could get him out. Additionally, Linus could get her out as well.
I think he means, is there any sort of bail or any way to shorten the sentences, as it were? Or is this painting imprisonment for a set time or life, or can it be cut short?
I mean, the only way to get one of them out is you would probably have to get the tyrant, the tyrant to let him out. The tyrant might be able to let out one or two without raising too much alarm, but obviously she is a daughter of he who will not be named. I mean, you have to get some crazy dirt on her to let him out. Handwash. Eloise might be able to get him out too for a shortened period of time. But either one of those, I mean, you'd have to get dirt on him.
What kind of women are these daughters of Lord Mulberry?
One likes fighting, other one likes controlling people. I don't know a ton about them. I know of them. You have to learn about them. Stake them out, find out dirt. I can't tell you all their secrets because I don't know them right now. I haven't spent those actions to find out that information, sir.
You've been slacking.
I'm sure I could loosen their lips in more ways than one, perhaps. But,
But it is possible, maybe, if you want to approach it that route. If you don't want to loose them out, whether you steal the paintings, make forgeries, get some of them out of paintings, it's whatever you think is best. I don't have any pertinent idea.
Is there actual art in there also? Or is it all just Lord Maldy's specific brand of art?
Mostly the latter. Any of the former art that is there has just become art because he's lived so goddamn long and his stuff is just turned into collectibles. There are vases in there that are older than countries, and he probably just hasn't moved them.
It's his old storage closet.
imagine the patina.
Garage
The
sale.
value of the patina.
The world's oldest garage sale.
Do you know if the curator, are they above some black market bribery with any of the paintings, or are they also honest to a fault, like apparently everyone in this damn city?
No, I heard she's a sadist, but that's about it.
I feel like that's everyone else in this case.
I mean, is it possible you could bribe her? Maybe. Maybe. Might have to something that we could possibly find out or work towards finding out. I don't know what our day-to-day schedule is.
In the arena, you mentioned you can't cheat if they're around. What are the rules to the arena then?
They don't let you cast any magic on you beforehand. You have to do it all during the fight.
Makes sense.
You're only allowed to bring in a few magic items with you. They call it the rule of 2. You're not allowed to have any outside interference.
Person gets to bring
Each person is allowed to bring only 2 magical items.
each.
Yes. That includes potions. But, and you can't have outside people cast a magic on you. But if he wasn't there, you'd be able to cheat.
So it's specifically he's responsible. Does he have a ward of some kind that he puts up that prevents people from cheating at all, or is it just?
No, he's really good at detecting it. He's made a devil's pact with the arena. He has almost a level of foresight to understand.
Oh.
What are the specifics of his foresight, the specifics of his pact to the arena, and how they prevent people from doing the magic? That I'm not certain. It might be something that you'd have to research if you want to approach that way.
So the arena games, we can participate in multiple fights.
Multiple fights, and it's good to know. I've been unplugged.
Yes, you have.
It's good to know who's going to challenge who. Right? Gives you an idea of who you have to challenge to one up the other person. Also, a creature can't be challenged twice. So if you know who they're going to challenge, and you challenge that person first, then maybe that might be a thing.
Plug it back in.
Yep.
Okay.
I've seen creatures old and terrible, things from other worlds, creatures of lore, and of course, other things brought in. Occasionally, my brother has been challenged to a fight.
Yes, your brother who became a lich, correct?
Yes, he became a Dio Lich.
And he has a hourglass phylactery that can do what again? I forgot. It's been a long day. I remember something happening.
It's felt like a week.
While his hourglass phylactery has 2 functions. One, it keeps him alive. The other function it has is it is anti-magic. It anti-magic.
Oh.
So it will allow magic to function inside an anti-magic area.
Interesting.
Which, to my understanding, the Temple of Astral Light has anti-magic in it.
I hate magic. All these damn wizards and their spells.
It's more trouble than it's worth. Zophael, his sense of being able to just smell deceit and lies.
Is he the angel that's accompanying the scepter?
The angel that is accompanying the scepter is, of course, Zophael, the penitent.
He was the ranger guy, right? You said? Did I have that correct?
Zophael,
Who
the penitent.
smelt lies and stuff. He's
Yes,
like master
yes,
ranger.
yes. Like a beast, like a ranger. It could just smell lies and deceit, even if it's been a couple days past. You gotta be careful. Knowing his
Actually
schedule.
brushed your teeth 2 nights ago, did you?
Is that? It'd be a hard thing to track down if he doesn't want to be found.
Mm-hmm.
course, if we summon him to fight in the arena...
Of course, the things summoned in the arena are brought back to life if they're killed.
Is it a instantaneous resurrection, or does it take a while?
I believe it takes a day to do, actually. It takes a day to perform the ceremony.
So
Yeah,
perhaps...
we summon one of our mains to fight. Who undoubtedly has a reputation. We bring Strom into the city. Maldak will definitely show up for the fight.
Thinking if we were to summon the angel and he can detect deceit, he would certainly detect it on us, and that may incentivize him to take part in a battle, if only to question us after the fact, instead of declining the fight.
He's not too busy fighting to keep himself alive.
Your clay watchdog is very affectionate, I see here. Much more so than your clay cat.
Obviously, the fights are scheduled, so if you need to know the schedule, that might be helpful.
If all possible, I'd like to get your totems, as well as whoever we can out of those paintings. Truly anyone who's family and captured.
Well, if you're able to get our totems out, we'll be able to help you more. Of course, that would involve you taking them out before the birthing process. Of course, you also spoke of wanting to maybe steal away the daughters.
Yes.
I mean, it might help get Therestra on our side if we were to offer to rescue his daughters from Maldivance.
Now, Alla obviously is currently in Runan. She's going to be transporting, and the entire procession of life is about her. Nana, her sister, is in the Spectral Tower. She is a apprentice of the Archmaster of Divination. She herself possesses some divination magics. She might be able to help us in some way if you were able to free her.
Might be our best attempt, as I don't know that we have a way to, at the time, to teleport anyone out of the city. So if we get them out, they must be able to help. Or at least the sooner we do it, they should be higher priority for that.
Aye.
You should have brought my base with us.
So, boom, God, boom, God. Just tell them, evacuate the city slowly. That won't raise any alarms when there's 8 people walking around the city.
No, so we do the guards first. We get all the police on the scene first. So that hourglass, the anti-magic, could be useful in preventing anyone from trying to stop us from magicking our way out somehow, maybe.
It could also help with the safe.
That as well.
How would it help against the safe? The safe is anti-magic. That's anti-magic. Stands to reason it would, but...
Rock, paper, scissors, or rock, beat scissors, except there's an anti-rock scissor that beats the rock. This is why I don't like magic, it's confusing. Ugh.
Laddie, Caradoc, Arnhem? Right? Is Matt Arnhem currently? Okay. I'm sure I was on board with who is who.
It's been traveling together for so long, like, and you don't remember our names?
You guys think about it.
It's a different environment off of the ship, you know? It's hard to... It's like, you know, seeing your coworkers from work. It's hard to recognize.
You're out of the
outside
office,
of
it's
it.
like, yeah, it's like, I know him, but I don't really know him, you know.
Let's see.
So, first and foremost, is we need to try to convince your former friends to go along with this new plan of ours.
That's right, and you need at least a plan, at least the bones of a plan. So what, discuss it, think it out. What are you thinking? You have obviously several days to do whatever you want, right? Obviously, you have 3 days for as much build-up and planning as you want. The arena games will start on the 3rd day and end on the 5th day, midday before the birthing ceremony. So you have 3 days to do whatever you want. Obviously, if you want us to help you during the birthing ceremony, to get the girls out, we can do that, obviously, but we're hands, and those of our type are tied while our totems are there, so you'd have to get our totems out first. Obviously, you also want to be able to be in the birthing ceremony if you want to take the girls out, which means that you have to be the winners of the arena fight. Which means you better hope that you don't challenge somebody and then they challenge somebody bigger the next day.
You wait until the very last match of the game, and then based on that,
Sneak in the last one, yes.
But of course, you have to declare yours the day before, right? So they'll know who you're going for. And if you want to compete on the 3rd day, you would have had to have at least competed on, if you want to compete on the last day, you had to have at least competed on the 3rd or 4th day. You can't just jump in at the end. You got to fight at least one fight on the 3rd or the 4th day. Obviously you want to be able to take that shepherd's crook away. Gotta be, wasn't your plan to distract the archangel at all with the arena fight? That would have to be at least on the 4th day. Because that's when the transportation is taking place. The procession from Runin starts the night of, and then they'll be here on the 4th day. At the end of the 4th day.
So as far as I can tell, the diviner is not a problem until any alarms are raised.
Yes.
It would be absolutely foolish to assume that we'll raise 0 alarm. So the diviner has to be a priority target.
We'll grab some tea while you guys are talking.
one of the people in the paintings could help us with getting his crystal ball.
Feel free to write things down if you got to.
Oh boy.
Diviner will be a problem. However, taking care of the diviner should also allow us to rescue one of the daughters.
That too, yeah.
As long as we're in the tower, in the neighborhood, we'll swing by and pick her up.
Because what could go wrong?
Right.
We'll have her back by 9 o'clock sharp.
School night.
But for that to work the best, we need to get one of those painting people, Gorba, out of the painting.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as we're in there, we really want multiple paintings,
Yes.
because knowledge about the Temple of Astral Light will help the whole totem situation significantly.
Yes. So, for the conservatory, I have 2 ideas of how to go about. See if we can get an audience with a curator to see about, say, maybe we have a valuable artifact that we want appraised, and that maybe we don't, it's just a piece of junk, but we don't know that, and we need her services to verify it for us. So while we're occupying,
Stars.
yes, and while one of us is occupying our time with that, then someone else could be surreptitiously rolling up the paintings or replacing them, switching them, or whatnot.
But you can't just replace the paintings if she's not taken care of, because she will spot the fakes instantly if she happens to go by them.
It's true.
Which means you have to do something about her more serious than just wasting your time for a little bit.
Indeed. That'd be the big thing to figure out there. Or, if we're able to, if the sheriff and tyrant have the authority to just free people from the paintings, I can see if I can meet them somewhere, introduce myself, and charm them into, letting anybody out.
Okay, so between you and also perhaps working with Silvio, 'cause he's good at digging up dirt on people. Perhaps see if between the two of you can get something from either the paintings or the curator, basically.
That's true. Maybe we don't need to bribe the curator, but maybe we could blackmail them if we know something about, like, maybe one of Maledict's treasures isn't so valuable and she's secretly, making coin off the side by pawning stuff off. Or make her think that we could make Maledict think that.
Yes, Lord M is no fool.
Moldy is no. Moldy is no. I'm not saying that.
Caradoc, you say?
Yes, Caradoc.
It's no fool.
Laddie's smart enough not to see the name. Johnny isn't. Okay.
As as you would expect.
If the DM didn't hear it didn't happen.
Yes, the DM's not here. Yes, so we can say Maledict.
Does anyone like him what you would expect from anyone like him? His security is very circular. There's so much of it overlaps. Taking out one necessary part of the chain messes with another part.
Yeah.
Which means it may come to a question of which parts we're willing to set off or deal with.
If we can get to the Shepherd's Crook, we can get to the totems. Or if we get to the totems, we can get to the Shepherd's Crook. Because they're basically in the same place.
Kind of. Except that we need a way to feasibly get to the totems. We don't know how to get into them outside of a rough location. Which is why we want the man out of the painting, which means we need to deal with the curator, but we can't deal with them too well, potentially without setting off too many alarms that the diviner is going to look either at what we have done or what we will do. Plus side is, he's useless on the day that he realizes this. He can look in the future and the past. The present is a real problem for him.
So as long as he doesn't involve the next day, then he can't look forward.
Hello, kitty. You're very adorable.
Another way to deal with the multiple links in the security chain is to attack multiple points instead of just one by one.
Yes.
And possibly, maybe, sow some seeds of doubt amongst each other, where instead of looking for outsiders trying to...
No, touts.
There we go.
Thanks.
You get the whole roll. That's all he gets.
Yeah.
Where we have multiple schemes going that if, the sheriff and tyrant notice the conservator is up to something, maybe they'll think, oh, it's not an outside influence, but they're suspecting their own rather than looking for us. If that makes some sense. I can words real good, I swear.
So pit everybody against each other.
Yes. I can be very persuasive and deceptive in matters like that. Basically just stop a gossip circle to like, did you hear what Becky said about you? Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Because there's two paintings in particular. Although, the question is how spread out they are. Are there more prisoners in there that are worth letting out? Are we letting out foolish people? Is it extra art?
I mean, there are other people in there. You'd have to find out about them. But those are the four that I know would be useful specifically for this. But obviously, anyone that's stuck in that painting has a gripe against it. But every single person in that painting is well looked after, right? If paintings start disappearing out of the conservatory, that will raise alarm. Unless we put in a fake, but of course...
Get rid of the fake, you have to take care of the conservator in some way.
Conservatory, yes. And obviously, her disappearing, death-wise, might raise alarm, but maybe not as much alarm as painting, but...
It seems like having Silvio and Laddie here potentially dig up dirt on the conservator may be more effective than on one of the tyrants or the others. You can do directly to the person holding them.
Yeah, see if they're susceptible to bribery or if they're doing anything they don't want anyone else knowing about that we could casually threaten to let slip unless they do us a favor.
Did Falthrax, was he the one who knew about the safe? No, he knows about an extra entrance. Did he know about the safe or was that someone else?
The entrance and the safe. His painting is probably very difficult to get a hold of.
Are these paintings kept apart, or are they all in the same gallery, or is it...
They're all over the complex.
And how do we get somebody out of a painting?
I could dip on a turpentine and benzene and just put it in the big oil drum.
So I doubt it's as easy as just ripping it open, and it's either powerful to spell magic, perhaps, or something beyond that.
Something of that nature. You'd have to talk to, obviously, those that can do it, which I mentioned them before. It's Laflis and Theastra. Both of them are good at working with magic items, so I assume it has to do something with that. Myself, it's not really my fancy. Perhaps it's a trick he could show one of you, but that might take some training, might take some time.
Right now, I have the feeling it would be better if we can get stuff out of the conservatory first, deal with that, but then the immediate next day would be dealing with the diviner. Gonna hop pretty much immediately into that, so that hopefully he hasn't had a chance to side that out. He's either potentially siding on what we were doing the day before, or looking forward, but not that day. Basically, as soon as alarms start, we need to take him out as soon as possible. Whatever way taking him out might be. I prefer not to necessarily kill him, but that seems probably the correct answer.
A little short of taking him out to dinner.
I mean, I'm fine for that, but I don't think he'll change sides or anything afterwards.
You would keep him busy doing it.
Yes, I agree. I think the conservatory should be our first point of entry, trying to get as many allies as we can.
Okay, remind me. The tower, or the spectral tower where the diviner is, that's one place.
Yes.
The Astrolite Temple is below the Lily place, right? Or
Correct.
it's below the... Okay, it's... Ah, damn it, okay.
Somewhere below it.
Not below the spectral tower. I had that backwards. Okay.
That's where the beast might also be, along with the totem vaults.
It is rumored that he might be there as well. That might be where he keeps his lair.
Which is also, again, why I think starting the conservatory is the strongest spot, because we can also potentially get the men to take care of the beast. Any thoughts, Arnhem?
Well, what they're doing to those people inside those paintings is terrible.
We don't know that. They might be nice paintings. You're probably right. Trying to be optimistic here.
I think we should try to get as many of them out as we can. Unfortunately, we may not be able to get as many out as we would hope, without causing too much of an attention to be drawn to us.
Or, what if we did let out as many as we could? We stage a prison break, as it were, and maybe plant evidence that one of these other bands, like the Force Spheres or Sirens, maybe might have been behind it, or some other party.
Which is fine, but to do that, we would have to worry about the Archangel, which would smell the lies and deceit around it, especially given the intent behind it.
Possible issue. If he's there, but yes, possible issue.
So would he know the nature of the deceit, or would he only know that there was deceit to tear it out?
I think more. Well,
He is an archangel, so their powers are weird.
The Archangel is the one that's guarding. They'll be guarding the staff, right?
Would be
The-
guarding it during transportation.
Correct. So you wouldn't have to worry about him during the transportation. That part of it.
I think I was gone. No, I was busy during the whole transportation talk. Remind me what's going on there with the.
In 3 days from now, so it is called the Procession of Life. The
Right.
mother-to-be will be transported from Runin to Kusan.
Here.
It takes a full day. They'll start the night of before heading towards Kusan. Normally, Kusan is a 2-day travel. They'll have caravans, so they can do it in a day and a half. So starting the night before, and they will arrive here the night of the third day. The fourth day, obviously they'll be here the fourth day, the night of. This will be the night of the third day, so early morning. The Shepherd's Crook is going to be transported to the Temple of the Restful Lily.
Do we know why they're taking the Shepherd's Crook with them?
It's part of the birthing ceremony. All of his children have to be purified of sins at their birth. Apparently all of us are born of sin, and only those that are purified from the Shepherd's Crook are touched by the divine and given the divine right to rule. And it's only really his blood that's allowed to do it. That's why his blood is pure, and he is able to watch over us unpurified masses. There's like apparently some dipping water, touching of a staff upon them. It's called the
Like
Shepherd's
it's got a lot of
Crook
sexual
because he is the shepherd of the flock of the people, something like that.
If you're ultra rich, you get some weird taste.
Outside of character, last week did we talk about potentially replacing the
Yes.
woman with like a golem?
Oh.
You did talk about that as a potential as well.
Yeah. There's someone who can make simulacra, right? Who can.
Yeah, because like the idea, that at the time our idea was to not only replace the Crook, but also replace her. To take them both at the same time, rather than actually being there in the room when the birthing was taking place.
It could be useful. Could be useful. As long as the curator's not in the room, you might be all right. Of course, there's the hag you'd have to deal with as well.
The midwife, yes.
But if you're able to deal with the curator and find a way to fool the hag,
Replace the curator. In fact, let's replace most of these people with gloves.
Well, if we just need a curator not be able to spot a fake, we can poke out our eyes.
because the problem is that the mother.
That's simple.
Seems a little
The mother
far.
is the midwife is
Easily
tied
identified.
directly to the mother, so you'd have to deal with the midwife, which is possible. But you'd have to deal with the midwife. If the midwife wasn't a problem, then that wouldn't be a problem.
I don't like to say it, but I feel like the daughter, who's going to be a part of the birthing ceremony, is probably the least savable. And or, unfortunately, the least point to saving her. We're not going to stop his overall his process. Clearly that's been tried before and he just moves on to another one.
well, no need to stop his. He can knock up however many women he wants, but if we want these Genasi's help, we should probably help get back his daughters.
Which I would like to.
Which, yes, if we
I'm just concerned with the feasibility of that one.
which if we free the people from the paintings and thus learn where the crystal ball is, and thus perhaps make contact with her sister and bring her in on this, she may possibly be able to help us as well.
Presumably, Lord M would be at the ceremony himself. I wonder if he would go on the traveling, on the journey across. I feel like probably not.
Lord M won't be at the ceremony.
Won't be at the ceremony. I feel.
He's never watched the birthing of his own children.
Coward.
He's squeamish.
What happens is the child is, at the end of the day, brought to him.
So he doesn't know what it looks like beforehand. Simulacrum, baby. A lot less complicated to program. It's just a cry shit itself.
Doesn't Smoot have a Phantom army somewhere? You can switch the baby out with one of them.
Oh, you have something against the Phantons for some reason, Lagan?
Something against babies. They're ugly and hairy, and they scream a lot. A lot like the Phantons.
Didn't you have a monkey or a gorilla somewhere you wanted to find at some point?
No, not particularly.
It's just difficult to do everything. Possible. It's possible.
So,
But it's difficult to do everything.
Okay.
so yes, let's.
So, conservator first, unless someone has a different thought on that. We do something about them.
Yes, we'll do.
Letty and Sylvia digging up dirt. If not, with just one of them, possibly together. It's your call, Laddie. It's more your department. So ideally, if we can get her cooperation ahead of time to either get some people out or switch out a few, that would be optimal. Because if we have to kill her, that opens up a couple more issues with her being dead. But it does stop all potential issues moving forward if we're spotting fakes. From forgeries, from the crook to the child to everything.
That would be the trade-off.
So it may be better to just kill her. But you gotta replace her or something.
Maybe we should just kill all of them. Guards are easy to avoid, even if there's a lot of them.
For you.
Yes, they are for me.
I don't see Caradox sneaking around about all that well.
And that's his problem. So
So if killing her is better,
If we blackmail her, that will neutralize her.
you gotta find some really good dirt for as many things as we're talking of
Well-
faking or switching or...
We don't need to fake or switch if we're blackmailing. We can just take.
But as many things as... Well,
We won't.
how many things is it going to apply to? It's
We
gonna need
won't be
some
able to
very
get
strong...
everything. We'll be able to get, at most, a couple pictures.
Couple pictures, but we also don't want her to notice the crook being switched out. We don't want her to potentially the child being switched. / the mother.
Now to note about the making of the golem, I can only make one golem to fake being one person. I can only make one simulacrum golem.
Can it simulate pregnancy?
It'd be difficult, but it'd be possible.
Alright, that answered an important lore question.
Two for the price of one.
No.
appear pregnant, but they can't have a fake a kid in the pregnancy.
I can have it be pregnant and fake pregnancy, but it's not going to be able to give birth. It's just going to be a lump of clay stuck in there. So you can replace the mother, but eventually they're going to be on the game later that
We've
night.
been waiting here for 3 days. When's it coming out?
Well, then at that point, you're worried about the midwife who's tied to her.
Yes.
That's dealing with that problem.
The midwife will be able to figure out that she's a fake because she's tied.
Correct.
But the midwife is in the game.
How do we...
You just have to deal with the midwife then, but then you're not dealing with, well, switching out the curator.
We're not going to be able to save the girls.
You're back to bribing the curator.
The one
We're not
doing
gonna
a
be able to
spawn
save-
seems incredibly unlikely.
We're not going to be able to save.
The other sister is quite possible, but they've...
If we blackmail the curator to neutralize, we'll get a couple pictures.
But which ones?
Exactly.
I mean,
Problem is
honestly, all 4 of them are really good.
Problem is I want all of them.
Yeah.
It's good to want this.
I mean, the least one maybe is the crystal ball, but you'd really want to know where that is because potentially, if you go into a few wrong rooms there, you're going to raise the alarm really fast. He's a master of divination and abjuration. That place is going to be warded. You want to go into the right room at the right time. You'd be going into blind luck.
So hear me out. We just take whatever we want in the city, cause a ruckus, leave, then play as our other crew members, and they come into the city. No one is suspecting them at all.
They've got no reputation here.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
We got a whole crew of people we can just cycle them out of here.
Dirt on one of the one of the high priests would be really good too. Getting him on our side might be able to get him to do a thing.
Just
Having a secret entrance, knowing how to get into the Temple of the Astral would be really good and past that puzzle. Unless you think you're really good at puzzles.
the whole focus is the Shepherd's Crook. That's the end game right there.
I think if we're gonna fake anyone, I'm almost on board with faking the conservator and swapping her out.
And if you want to have any of our help, you need to get our totems.
And one of the paintings will allow us to get the totems and the Shepherd's Crook.
I feel like there's just in general the most benefit from either swapping her out or taking care of her in some way or form.
So, blackmail the conservator.
I think we should go a step further. If we can make a copy of someone and swap them out, I think that's our best bet. Because that cuts off problems of seeing the Shepherd Crook being one.
Neutralize, however, the conservator. That'll get us pictures and prevent the crook from being noticed as a fake. That will allow us to get in to get the totems and the crook. And at that point, we just need to go. We don't need anything else. If we get the totems, we get the help we need to get the fuck out.
If you don't get at least one of the daughters, you're not going to get any of Therastara's help.
So we need the totems.
Who was
crook,
getting people out of the paintings, which is fine because we want to take care
But
of
we
the...
can't get any of the daughters unless we get somebody out of the paintings.
Right. But
You'd have to promise him one of the daughters,
Yes.
at least.
we can promise the diviner apprentice daughter. Because we need to do something, we'll need to do something about the diviner, which we can do once we have access to that man in the painting.
Oh. Did we just lose,
I think Zoom
Yep.
lost.
Oh, maybe I've got to plug in the Ethernet cable again. Go ahead and keep talking.
So it starts with the conservator.
Yes.
We neutralize them, however.
Yes. The reason I want to switch it out, though, is less likely to raise the least amount of alarm, to raise the least amount of alarms overall.
Speak generalize it
Okay,
first.
fair.
So, neutralize conservator.
Yes.
Which will get us pictures.
Which gives us access
Which
to
gives us access
Diviner
to-
Tower. It gives us dirt on a water lily person, high priest person, the lily, which will help get us in there, which also should help us, in theory, get into the temple below where the totems are.
So that gets us the totems, the crook,
Yes.
and a daughter.
Yes, because so conservator to the diviner tower next, because then we don't want them to know what they're doing next. That will let us get the daughter, and take care of the diviner, so he can't see what we have done or will do. Also, potentially, depending on what alarms we've raised on day one, won't have had time to see what we're going to do or expect us coming like that.
There we
Because he sees in the past or the future.
So we need to eliminate the diviner first?
Second.
There we go. Back on Ethan.
Because he's not, in theory, isn't looking all that much for it until an alarm or something is raised. And then he has to look in the future or the past. So go on the day that he would be aware of, depending on how much alarm we raise, hopefully. Plus, getting to him will be significantly harder if you don't have the information from all those people in the paintings.
So, neutralize conservator, which gets us into the tower. So we get the crook, the
The tower is separate from the crook and that. The tower is one place, and then the crook and the totems are in a third location. 3rd/4th, kind of. The tower is here in this city. Versus the water lily, or the lily, and the Temple of Astral Light below it are over in Runon.
No, they're here in Kusan.
These two are here?
Yes.
Wait, where's the...
Right? The temple and the tower are both in Kusan?
The temple and the tower are both in Kusan.
Well, shit, what's in Runon then?
The staff. It's just going to be...
Oh, right
It's just
now it's in a
current-
different tower.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or a
it's
different
a
temple.
different temple, yeah.
It's in a different
Oh.
temple. And it's in Runin right now, being guarded by.
But we're talking about trying potentially to get the Archangel off of it if we can promote it enough to get into a fight during the transportation and a couple people sneaking in and stealing it from the caravan.
Yes.
How big
Maybe.
is this crook?
Oh, it's a shepherd's crook. It's about.
A shepherd for me or a shepherd for a fire
a
giant?
6-foot stick.
It's a shepherd for a normal human. So it'd be
normal. Let's define normal here vis-a-vis height.
That's
Oh,
true.
let's see the sensor data for
It's about as tall as you are, so it would come about chest size for a humanoid.
I'm like 3 feet.
Yeah, so it's about 3.5 feet, almost 4 feet tall.
So it's like a tall cane.
It's like a tall cane. It comes to about your chest.
I feel very tall, so short for that.
Okay, we can mark your height on the staff to see how high.
As I grow.
Yes.
So that way.
Oh no, yeah, I guess it would be head height. So yeah, it's about 6 feet tall. Sorry, etiquette. It's about 6 feet tall.
Okay, so
It comes to a little bit
everything's
over the
currently
head.
in
of most people.
Kusan. Okay.
So
Yes.
neutralize the...
Being 7 feet
Conservator.
tall, my height's a little off for you people.
Neutralize the conservator, however, which gets us access to... What?
The tower.
The tower.
The diviner.
Because we need to take, because that diviner and if he's looking at what we're going to be doing or have done, that's going to be way too big of an issue, I
Okay,
think.
so that takes out...
And
the
it lets us
crystal
get the
ball.
daughter, which
Crystal
will...
ball and the daughter.
Yes, which gets the help of her, so we can either swap someone out or some other, like getting people out of paintings, that sort of thing. So we need to get one, so getting her day 2 will also please her sooner.
If you bribe her, she'd be able to give you a painting. If we replace her, you're going to have to probably steal it. My replica can do a lot of things, but it isn't going to know what she knows, so it's not going to know the secret codes to get the paintings off the walls.
There's fucking codes to get them off the walls?
They're warded. They're warded.
But I think with people like Laddie, we'll be alright getting them off. If we at least don't have to worry about getting, even if we replace them, we don't have to worry about somebody noticing that they're fakes.
Ah, good point. I forgot he was a thief.
Yep, a damn good one too. Your merry men could learn a thing or two from me, frankly.
So, hang on.
So we're having you do the plan?
So we neutralize the conservator.
Yes.
However, which gets us paintings.
Yes.
Paintings get us access to the tower.
Pretty much everything else.
The tower gets us access to a daughter and the crystal ball.
Yes.
Once we get those,
Be more free to make an assault on the temple.
then we can get into the
Both
temple
temples, rather.
with the guy from the painting.
Because both two guys from the painting. One will help us get into the lower one. One has apparently some sort of significant dirt on someone who's in the upper temple.
Which will allow us to get the crook and the totems.
Although the crook won't be there yet. Not until the fourth day. Fourth day after.
The fourth day.
Fourth
the
day.
night of, the morning of the fourth day.
Okay.
Just true. We don't have to grab it in transit. We could wait till it's in the temple. Excuse me.
But getting the totems will freeze them up. I'm not entirely sure what all extra
So we have to go
assistance-
into the temple twice? Once for the totem and once for the stick?
What else are we in the temple for? That's actually a good question. What am I skipping over there?
The birthing ceremony.
Yeah.
We don't care about the birthing ceremony.
We'd like to, but I gotta admit, it's at the bottom of my priorities.
But if we win the games, that gets us access into the temple on the day of the birthing ceremony.
Which is day 4.
And if you do win the games, you've got to go. That's the other thing about fighting the archpriest. If they don't fight anything bigger than the archpriest, that means you have to go to the birthing ceremony.
Oh, we have to.
Well, at least whoever participated in the fight does. Which, I mean, it'll be creepy, but if everything else is taken care of, congratulations, you get to witness some sort of abomination.
But if you go to the birthing
And then
ceremony,
move on with your life.
if you go to the birthing ceremony, then you're gonna run into the archangel.
That's going to be a problem.
Who we already fought, but he'll,
Why are we fighting the archangel?
depending on when we do it, to distract, because he's either, because the crook will be a part of this birthing ceremony, which is important because it won't be in the temple until that day, and then the birthing ceremony, which is later that same day. Which means if it's gone beforehand, if we replace it, then they'll try it, and presumably, I feel like they would notice it wouldn't work. Which then the archpriest will probably sense something deceptive about which every one of us is there.
So we don't need to be there.
But if we win, we apparently have to go, or we're going to get summoned or hunted down by Lord Maldi or something.
So why do we need to win?
Good point. I mean, you'll get resurrected in a day. The summoned person gets resurrected in a day.
Yeah.
The person who challenged
Yeah.
gets resurrected at all.
Yeah, we're dead. If we lose, we're dead.
Yeah, they don't resurrect the losers. Only the people that are summoned there.
So why do we fight?
I mean, you could summon somebody if you wanted to take them off the board.
Yeah.
But if
Because
we
it takes a
win-
full day
At
to
least for
resurrect them.
a day.
But if we win, then we're forced to go to the birthing ceremony where we're gonna be found out.
Unless, if we
Okay.
beat the
Okay,
Archangel,
wait,
he
there's
needs
something
to
we're not
rest
thinking
still.
about here.
Maybe
We
he can't be
don't
there.
need to fight the Archangel. We need to get one of the other groups to get the Archangel to show up at the right time.
Oh.
And they
That's a fair
Oh,
point.
you mean
we
fake?
don't
So are you saying you want to go to the arena and telegraph that you're going to fight the Archangel, and somebody's going to summon him first to try to fight him before you?
at the prescribed time.
Or you're going
So
to
we
talk to
can
them and
Or convince them to.
or try to convince them to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fair.
Invite him out to drinks to, become friends and accidentally spill this. And don't let anybody know, but we're gonna summon the Archangel. We don't think anyone else in.
Which does mean that we still need to make a presence in there first, otherwise that won't be something that anyone will capitalize on.
It's also a way to get things off the field. I mean, obviously you're going to have to deal with the Beast of Starry Eyes inside the Temple of Light. If we suppress his power, it's good. But he's still going to be in the Temple of Starry of Astrolight. So if you want to take care of him
again.
Some dream beast from beyond who will, if he feels like you're moving against Lord M, that he'll just potentially just put you in a coma. But there's a man in a painting, which hopefully we can take care of. We'll keep him from at least doing that.
Aye.
So how many people do we need in a painting?
4.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
No,
3. 4 would be nice. 3 that I'm in strong favor of.
3. Okay, which 3?
3. Astral Light, where the totems and such are. Knows about that. Diviner Tower knowledge. And what was the other one? The one who suppresses the beast. The last one has dirt on the priest at the Restful Lily, which could be helpful depending on where we're at on the Crook at the time. If it's there, then that would be really helpful. But if it's not there, that's why he's the more questionable one that we could potentially go without. There's 3 I would really like to have.
Yeah. Which, in order of importance, would be Crystal Ball.
Well, it doesn't matter of importance because they're all important.
Right, but if we had to choose only 1 or 2, it'd be Crystal Ball.
Has anyone ever woken up from one of those comas?
Only one person, the Dreamwalker.
Nice. Well, I would personally like not to be in a coma forever. Should definitely get him out at least. So, on to the next steps, roughly. If we want to switch out the Conservator, neutralize in some way, if we want at least 3, personally I'm in favor of if we can get the Water Genasi. You Genasi? I don't forget which one. Whoever makes this clone.
I am a Dio.
Earth.
An Earth
Genasi makes the
Genasi.
clone, okay.
We look like. Well, I'll grab a miniature later.
A Dio.
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
A
A water clone wouldn't be quite as convincing.
If I've seen Naruto, it works. But Dio can make a condensing simulacrum of the conservator. That'll at least allow us, or the curator or whatever, that will allow us to make paintings, fakes, that we can then switch out with at least those 3. Optimally 4. I mean, if you look around and find someone else who might be of interest, that would be great. Let's not count on that in any way. But we would want to make fakes to replace them in case someone else goes through who wouldn't immediately know it's a fake.
If we take out the Conservator, why do we need to put fakes in place?
Well, I mean, if
Because
something's just...
gonna notice.
They're going to notice if nothing's there.
Who's gonna notice?
Whoever they send
Presume
to
that
replace
there's-
the curator.
I assume there's more than one person in the
Conservatory.
yeah, and I assume there's guards and such wandering around in there still.
There are.
Not
There
just
are.
one single person. Which means we'd still have to sneak around there, although, granted, if we have a fake one that could maybe give some access. So why would they question them? Until a stupid archangel potentially shows up and notices lies. But if we do that, switch her out, get fakes, so that way something's there, so at least it's not immediately obvious that something's wrong. Then, we convince the Water Genasi here, Nerid, to get these people out of the paintings so that we can go get his daughter, which will allow us to get his daughter and the crystal ball out of the picture. And day 3, then we go get totems, and the Crook's not there though, so either we have to raid them at 2 separate times, or since day 3 is when the traveling is going, that's when Laddie and Saya go attempt to take it. Which means that Caradoc, myself, or Arnhem here, during this, need to be making a presence in the arena so that we can let slip how our grand plan is to get the Archangel in there. Granted, if you can sneak past it, I mean, that's one thing, but you won't notice it's a fake
Could
necessarily.
we just convince somebody that doing the Archangel is a great idea?
Which is also that.
That way we don't have to fight.
We'll still probably need to fight, but we won't need to fight anything as... We'll be able to fight something a little bit weaker.
I mean, we're just getting spread pretty damn thin.
Because we'll need to fight in order to...
Well, that's the part I don't understand. Why do we need to fight? If we convince somebody else to summon the Archangel because it's a really good idea, we don't need to fight. They
Well,
just
see,
need to
the
fight.
thing is that if we don't fight, there's no way we're making it in. Well, and just whether this matters or not, this will be the thing. If we don't fight, we won't even have a chance to make it into the birthing ceremony.
Which brings it back to why do we need to go to the birthing ceremony?
We
If we're gonna find
don't, but
out,
we need to get to the temple, which the birthing ceremony
Yes.
would get its invitation to.
well, we can get into the temple with what's his face. Where we get the
The
totem
painting.
and the crook.
And one of the painting guys has dirt on
Yes.
somebody in the temple.
So, I guess that comes down to who we can get out of the conservatory.
Yes.
So, once we attempt that, whoever we manage to free would determine what our next course of action would be.
As long as we have a rough outline, we should be able to convince them. You should be able to convince them to go with it. I'm certainly not going to convince them of anything.
Yes,
So-
we have.
We really don't need to fight. We just need to convince somebody else to summon the Archangel.
Right.
Because if we get what's his face out of the painting, then we can get into the temple.
But if we don't get him out of the painting, we'll need another way to get in the temple.
Which we'll, I guess, cross that bridge if we come to it.
If only we could convince them to fight all of our enemies for us when we didn't want to deal with them. That'd be funny.
How much
Hey, you want to
money
fight
got?
someone in the arena for me?
No, no, I don't.
But someone, we want to challenge the Archpriest, the Curator, and the Diviner all at once. Team battle against team battle.
Well, if you win, it would take them out for a day.
The big three against One Punch Man.
There's 3 people. He can't punch enough. He's only got one.
There's someday at the Royal Rumble. Who will be the last one standing?
Well,
So as long as we get the paintings, we don't need to fight in the arena.
If we're lucky.
hopefully.
Again with the negative waves.
Just that branching possibilities.
Negative waves.
Branching possibilities.
So we get the paintings, which gets us into the tower, which gets us to neutralize the seer, and gets us the
This is the
daughter.
daughter. And the arena.
The painting also gets us. Paintings also get us into the temples to get the totems and the crook. There, done.
Because the only thing in the temple that we actually need is the crook, but it won't be there till it arrives on the 4th day.
Well, and our totems.
And
That's
it's
it's below, yes, which in theory is it could be a separate excursion.
And
So what would the first? So the first step would probably be to convince one of the other teams to go after the Archangel. Because if we can't convince them to do that, then this doesn't.
Then someone.
Then we have to.
Yeah.
Aye.
Then we have to fight the Archangel and basically die.
If you're able to defeat my
Then
brother,
but you guys can do the thing.
right? If somebody was able to defeat my brother, it'd be easier to get his to steal away his phylactery. Because it'd take him 6 days to regenerate with his phylactery. course, his phylactery is a day away from here. We'd have to send somebody there, being ready to steal it, to pick it up once he was killed.
If we get that, then Arnhem drank that for nothing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. It means a lot to me. Oh, no, you've completely...
I mean, it wasn't for nothing because I do have a 20 con now, so there's that.
He has such lovely blue eyes now. A
Yeah.
little creepy too, but it's a nice creepy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Daddy has to take that away.
Oh dear.
Here you go. Here, this is all yours. You can have that instead. You guys keep talking. I'm just gonna reward her so she doesn't think she's being punished.
So what's the benefit of getting the phylactery again from the lich?
It's the anti-magic.
Yeah.
Okay. And that would help us against
Well, the temple,
Totem.
which one?
both potentially the safe the totems are in, and the totem, if that monk is around at all, then there's a good chance magic just fails in that temple.
Which might help you if you had to fight the beast of starry eyes in the temple. You wouldn't have access to any of your magic or magical items.
Ugh.
The beast is in the lower temple?
He
Possibly.
lairs, I hear, in the Temple of Astrolight. It's his lair. It's like he's the guard dog. More like a guard bull.
Gorgon, would you say?
You're playing Gorgons wrong.
Only if I play Gorgons wrong. Gorgonzola, as they call it.
So,
Yeah.
we'll sell the other genasi on. We're taking care of the conservatory first.
We're not selling people.
We're selling them on our plan.
Slavery's bad.
Slavery of ideas.
What are you, the captain?
Slavery is bad.
And from what I understand, for those helping, Lannis is in it for the Crook. To save Mandragora. And Estra will be in it to save at least one of his daughters. So if you saved both, I'm sure he would owe you a mighty boon. He is a master craftsman. He would be able to craft from you the mightiest armor or sword you've ever seen, if he did. Of course, there's Camelin, myself. I'm in here for the totems. Without totems, you don't get my help. Of course, there's Hunter. Hunter is in this for revenge.
Yes, his dead wife.
And specifically,
We just need the crook because the captain wants it. So once we get that, we could bounce. Just don't let any of the genasi know.
I'm right here. Trevor sense. Anyway, Hunter's in it for vengeance, specifically against one of the priests. He's probably going to want you to deal with one of them. If you want his help. If not, he's out. His potions are mighty helpful. They can do fantastical things.
Well, Kaylin, I'll ask you now. You've been here, listening. It seems now that our best plan is to potentially swap out that curator with a double. We wouldn't get to the totems until day 3. Is that something you're willing to work with?
As long as I've got your word that you're going after the totems.
Absolutely.
Stop waking
It's like my eye. It's just no.
As long as I got your word on it. Cola de Guias.
You're a good man.
Absolutely.
I volunteer to take that.
Absolutely.
We'll try not to leave you behind once you get the crook.
Goddamn laddie.
As long as I got your word on it. And our bargain on that is struck. Specifically, I think I know which one Hunter's going to be going after. You're not going to like it. Master Bak Mi. He wants him dead. Or vengeance on him in some way.
Oh.
I don't know a way of doing that wouldn't raise the alarm. Unless you can find a way.
Find a letter of excommunication on his body and himself and give it to him. That was great.
Don't we have the dose of that poison that prevents resurrection?
I don't know if any of us do.
All your primaries have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to use one of those for one of the people here.
Well, you
I can
also,
leave
you also
someone
can't gamify, you can't use your other character's stuff.
Right.
That too, yeah, but also just,
Yeah.
No. Yes, you're so adorable.
So our immediate plan is taking care of the conservatory. And then later, when we have our missing person at the table with us too, we can tackle that, and if it all goes well, we go whichever way we get, depending on how well that goes, determines our next course of action.
I'm generally happy with our plan. We'll have to figure out how we take care of. We gotta swap her out, but that doesn't mean we need to kill or remove her in some way.
I think you might have unplugged me, Johnny.
Oh, oh. Okay, hit the button maybe. Ah.
Which means
Where's the? Oh,
Nope,
God
there
damn
it
it!
is. Just been unplugged.
Sorry.
Eventually, I'm going to get the power strip underneath here. I just haven't done that yet.
There we go.
whether myself or Fennec potentially figure out where the curator lives. Potentially have Durner take care of her. Swap her out with the clone. Which means we'll have to be dealing with forgeries, which will need to be made probably by Mirlim for the
See-
paintings that we get.
So I'll see how many she can make. It'll be a die roll.
Hope it's a D100. One.
And
Weird, it keeps coming up one.
I'd settle for a D20.
does you know? Do we know what the paintings look like? Are they like impressionistic, or are they all just like mug shots of
That's-
people? Like
That's kind of the other problem. I don't know what the paintings look like. You'd have to go into the conservatory and find them. So that might be a day trip.
Is it a? It's a museum, yeah.
It's a museum. It's open to the public.
Okay.
It's open to the public. I mean, you'd have to go find them.
I mean, we'd have to start tailing the conservator from somewhere. Might as well go check out the gallery, and then whoever hangs around and follows her home.
I can follow her home easily enough.
I've got descriptions of what they look like, so I can tell you what you're looking for. So as you're looking at the paintings, if you see them in there, you'll be able to find out which one they're in. And then we'll be able to figure out what they look like. You're probably going to have to take her with you. She gets a good look at the painting. Unless you have somebody with a really good memory that can describe it in daytime.
Like, she can come along. We'll teach her how to make a proper thief out of her.
Start up a rival thieves guild in Kusan. Consisting of yourself.
It's like, first step to being a thief. Don't start tailing people while they're still in eyesight of you so they can see you and read your lips.
If they have tremor sense, don't whisper next to them.
Don't turn the pot around so Hal can read your lips.
Well, I'm mostly content.
Right?
All right. Sound like you got a plan? At least the start of one. All right. Well,
Yeah, cunning
No
plan,
plan
but
is
it's a plan.
perfect.
everybody's going to be in the room soon, so we'll all have a good drink. Wait for them to come in. I'll fix a little bit of supper, and I'll have you lay out the plan to them.
Yeah, we're smooth when you meet him.
And speaking of that, we will take a break here, and we'll be right back with the layout of the plan. And as soon as I can get this background music,
After
we'll be
these
right.
messages.
We are unmuted. I've made that mistake before. Okay, we're back. All right. Well, gentlemen, the next half an hour passes. You're able to prepare documents. You're able to maybe write things out on a board. Maybe get some drawings done. Finalize your plan.
Practice our play.
Practice your pitch. Right, your sales pitch. Right, this is like Made Men, but for
Hope your silver tongue
stealing
is ready.
stuff. Right.
Do we have time for a short rest?
Sure. You have at this point all participated in a short rest.
Yay.
What have you done things?
I have, yes.
Nice.
I get one of them back on a short rest.
Okay, well if you roll a 1 and a check, just let me know and I'll fix that.
All right. So now that you guys are back,
All day.
3 of the people, obviously the magic store owner, Elenis, is not here because she doesn't know about this plight yet.
No.
You brought her in originally on the Crook, and that's all she knows about.
Alright, so Fire Genasi showing up, Sasha, we can't tell her very much?
The female Fire Genasi.
The female
male
fi-
Fire Genasi we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
She,
The male one is going to show.
you know that she is being watched,
Right.
actively being watched, which is a problem with the guards.
So she's not coming here, hopefully.
Yeah,
she's
well,
not coming here.
you guys haven't let her in on this plan.
Okay,
You
good.
guys had a separate thing, like let's steal the shepherd's crook, and then you found out about
That's the only part of the plan she's.
Yeah.
Excellent, okay.
So, they all walk in. Obviously, the water genasi, who has a cold aura about him. He has a ice dagger sheathed along his right hip. And he's just wearing pants made of blue silken fabric. And Hunter comes in full paladin armor and shield. He has a duck perched on his shoulder, which some of you know is actually a gyrosphinx in disguise.
The one person who knows isn't here.
Yes. He has a seat with his duck, who takes a seat by the far side of the room, watching the room. The rest of the merry men are here, except for Silvio, who is currently playing lookout on the roof. If he spots anything, you'll hear him. Oh, I haven't. Yeah, that's only glued to the wall.
Okay.
You'll hear him call out. I'm going to roll now in secret
Alert! Alert!
to see if he has if they have been alerted. Okay. That was a roll. Continue.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. We have much to discuss with you if you'd like to join us for a late supper.
A couple of them have a seat. They nod in silence. Getting the names up here. Theastra says, "Oh, you better make it good. My cold forge is getting warm."
Yes, and how's your ear doing after being restored?
Better.
Yeah, I'll try to keep a moderate tone of voice so as not to be distracting.
Artem cured his deafness.
I remember that
Yeah.
on my list.
Got that part, yeah.
He does a nod towards Arnhem.
Nod back.
And Hunter, I see very impressive armor. Clearly, you're a warrior of great renown.
Sorry, me, not him.
Yeah.
I've come ready for a fight.
He's got
Whether I'm fighting someone at the end of this or another time. I'm not impressed. I'll be throwing down here. Holds the pommel of his short sword in his right hand.
I aim to impress. Would your duck companion like any breadcrumbs or anything to go with supper?
He's purposely keeping himself hungry in case he needs to be fed here.
Moving. Like something to see.
You ever seen a feral duck?
Well, there was that one time Mr. Clackers was, I think, in heat or some such, very aggressive on the ship.
They know no fear. That's for certain.
Have you seen the Untitled Goose Game? Yeah, they're vicious. Well, gentlemen, I'll come straight to the point. We were sent here to the city, to the Blade Desert, in order to acquire a relic, namely the Shepherd's Crook, which you're all very well acquainted, of course. We have use of its healing, curative properties for our higher-ups, and we understand that it is a holy relic of your people as well. I believe that we managed to procure this. We can use it to help restore Gullisy and her titans to their former state. But in order to do so, we'll need all the help we can get in this city, and we are willing to assist you in not only reclaiming the staff, but also reclaiming your totems that are being held by the moldy one. Your friend Kalen has briefed us on the general politics of the city, and we've come up with a general plan to start out with over the coming days. Our first point of attack will be focusing on the conservatory in Busan, where we understand some potentially very useful allies are being held prisoner. We intend to deal with the curator in one way or another so that we can free these prisoners to nullify some of the surveillance in the city so we can move about a bit easier. To do so, you would sneak into the spectral tower to nullify the diviner's site, and we also hope to make contact with your daughter, Thyristra, and see if she can lend us aid as well from her position as the diviner's apprentice.
You seek to liberate. You seek to liberate Nana.
Indeed.
All right. Continue.
With that taken care of, we also intend to draw the attention of the archpriest delivering the scepter, keeping him occupied at the arena to see if we can't bait him into a fight with someone so that we may move more freely to either procure the staff in transit or to get into the Lily Temple on the day of the ceremony so we can make up with the staff and also get into the vault of the Temple of Astral Light. We understand that one of the prisoners from the conservatory should be able to help us break into the vault in the temple. From there we hope to relinquish Moldy, the Lord Moldy, of those totems to restore you to your freedom. Obviously, this will be taking place over the course of many days, and complications may arise, but we're an able-bodied crew who have been through quite a lot in our travels, and I'm sure with the assistance of both you, Thyristra, being a learned blacksmith and with connections throughout the artisan district, and you, Hunter, with your great knowledge of potion making, I'm sure we could handily accomplish this task working together.
The Astra says, if you rescue my daughter, you have my help. I'll take at least one of them back if I can with me. I would prefer both. If you found a way to save the other,
That will be more difficult, but if we can get an audience in the temple, get into the Temple of the Lily on the day that the ceremony is supposed to occur, there may be a chance that we can save her as well.
I'll sweeten the pot. Rescue my other daughter and I'll give you the Ring of Winter. The Codex of Ice. I have it hidden away.
That might be very good against a red dragon.
Years ago, I was the guardian who protected it. When the temple fell, I left with it. Lord M wanted it. I told him no. He took my daughters. Now, took my totem and then he took my daughters later when I tried to take it back. Teaches me for trying to take my freedom. Liberate one, you have my help. Liberate both and the child. You have that what I would not even give him. Hunter stands up in his full plate. You only have my help if you kill Mak Be, the head priest. I want him dead.
Understand you have a deathly grudge against him.
I have a plan to have him killed. I can't do it. He won't fight me. But he'd fight you. Challenge him to a fight in the arena. Kill him with this knife. Takes out a knife, he digs it in the table. That knife will get you killed in 11 countries. Just for having it.
Is this one of them?
No. That's a Thayan's knife. I took it off the body of a Thayan assassin. Anyone killed with that cannot be brought back in by wish magic. It's considered cheating in the arena. But if you want my help, you kill him with that.
You have business in the arena in one way or the other. If that is what is needed for us to have your alliance, we shall see it done.
Alright. As a bonus, you can keep the dagger. I don't want it in my hands.
Is there a sheath that goes in, or do we have to wrap the cloth? It's
The sheath is in another man's chest. It's just waiting to be sheathed.
Yes.
very good.
Here's a red cloth.
Thank
Puts it over it.
Thank you kindly, sir. So then, if we have your words, your agreements then, Therestra, we make contact with your daughter, see her safe. How will you assist us?
I'm good at fighting. There isn't a man I don't know I can't beat in one-on-one combat. I have deep connections in the artisans district. If you need specific items, or you need something like paintings, I could have them forged. I could have art spirited away. I also know people in the artisans district who might be able to know where this curator goes, who she talks to. I'm also a master forger myself. I can outfit you with items for the arena. I can provide temporary enchantments, depending on how many you need. I can create Mismian armor, weapons of frost, mithril barding, anything necessary you might need in that regards.
Maybe you could put your forgery skills to use, Mark. Replacing or taking care of the curator to free these friends and paintings. I think it would be best if we could swap them with convincing forgeries rather than simply stealing them outright. Would that be something you'd be willing to help us with before we make contact with your daughter?
Of course. But I would need to know what they're forging.
Do you go to the conservatory often? We're thinking of taking a trip to the gallery there on the morning.
I myself am banned. But if you know the painting, I know artisans who know what it looked like.
Very well. We'll locate them and we'll come to you to find the appropriate people to reproduce them.
Then that is how I will help.
Thank you, sir. And you, Hunter, if we successfully kill this Bakme, how will you assist us?
There isn't a potion I can't craft. If you need something specific done, I can find a way to help it. If you run into an issue with the plan, I can help. You need potions to turn you into mist. You need potions to charm guards. You need some kind of elixir to fake death, put someone to sleep.
I don't know that.
We know that, and we know you don't know that.
I might be able to provide a remedy. It takes me a day to create a potion to do something like that, but I can make a potion do something for you. It just depends on what you need me to have the potion do. But I can do it. Confident. Potion to make you immune to fire. Potion to make you as small as a fly.
Heard bad things about someone who became a fly.
I was a part of that plan. That plan went tits up fast. Hags apparently can see people have transformed. Learned that the hard way. But I can create a potion to do anything. Anything you want. You just need to let me know and give me a day to do it. And if you give me a couple days, well, your imagination is your limitation.
I can imagine quite a bit. That could be handy.
No, don't want to know. Don't want to know where your mind's going.
All kinds of places. Well then, do we have an accord then, gentlemen, on this pact to restore Gullisy and return your totems to your rightful possession.
Three Stroke walks up, spits at your feet. Hunter walks up, spits at your feet in that same exact spot. Kalen walks up, hacks a giant earth loogie at your feet. The merry men also do such.
Am I supposed to do so also?
Is anyone here proficient in history?
Not me. Comes naturally.
Artem?
Let me check. Yes.
Okay. Proficiency in history. Arnhem would know. This is how Burnians seal a deal.
Okay.
They mix their spit upon the ground.
Okay, so Arnhem will lift his mask a little bit and spit at the same place and nudge Vandal. Oh. Right?
Good enough, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's Wagon Vandal, so yeah.
Okay. And I'll nudge him to do the same.
Spit.
Lord Caradoc. If you would seal the deal with your own spit.
Oh.
Spit on your feet.
Caitlin does turn to Hunter and she says, There's an additional thing we are going to need from you, Hunter. We are going to need you to hand over your ring for part of this plot. Hunter gives a nod, pulls off his ring, hands it to her. She grabs it. We spoke about this earlier. He's still...
Did we actually speak? I don't recall from us.
It was at the end of the game.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't recall it. Off on my own.
It's okay. Yep, I'm in it now. Let me know what potions you need, and I'll craft them. But, suppose that's business for the morning. It's 10:30. It's 10:30. You guys want to end here for now, and then we pick up? That way, when everyone's back.
Start the
Yeah, I'm fading.
next
Okay.
morning or night if we need a
Night,
for,
you might be able to do stuff during the night.
because there's a beast about also.
There is a beast. As soon as you guys start acting, the beast, I am going to have to roll for all the NPCs. To see if it
Who wants to
detects
go
them.
fight Master or whatever?
So anyway, good job, guys. Good job.
Go to the arena and summon the fisherman.
There you go. That's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, that would be funny if one of them is going to summon the fisherman.
Oh, hi, Straw. What are you doing here?
Anyway, that'll be an episode for 179. All right.
Hey, Matt, what you doing?